going to be anything of this magnitude. It was, it's all a big shock.
Experience how a Rock Island man with some unique presidential ink is handling the spotlight after his story on News 8 goes viral. And thought you knew how to bypass speed cameras? Think again, the new tool in one area community to catch speeders.
Live from WQID, News 8 at 10 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Jim Mertens. Thank you for joining us tonight. Denise has the night off. Developing news out of Burlington right now where police are looking for suspects in a shooting tonight. Police say they received calls about multiple gunshots around 6:30 in the 2400 block of Flint Hills Drive. That's near Cottonwood Park. When police arrived, they found a 28-year-old man with gunshot wounds. He was airlifted to Iowa City. Police say witnesses saw at least 2 people run away from the scene. This is the second shooting in this area in the last few weeks. The last was in August when a 22-year-old man opened fire on a home. No one was hurt in that incident. We're also hearing some new names being considered as potential cabinet members in Donald Trump's transition to the White House. It appears Trump is willing to look beyond past grudges, and he's reportedly considering hiring Mitt Romney. Romney was a fierce critic during Trump's presidential campaign. He even refused to endorse Trump. But the bad blood is being put aside. The two expected to meet this weekend. Romney is reportedly being considered for Secretary of State.
He's meeting with a lot of talented people that are going to be he needs good relationships with, and I think Mr. Romney will be quite capable of doing a number of things, but he'll be one of those, I'm sure, that's reviewed.
We're also learning tonight that Donald Trump has offered retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn the job of National Security Advisor. No word yet whether that is being accepted. A Rock Island man following through on a presidential bet. The video has now gone viral. News 8 first brought you Zach Kolbert's story earlier this week. He's the guy sporting a Donald Trump tattoo after losing a bet. And as News 8's Jenna Morton tells us, his story has been shared almost everywhere, even a famous late-night talk show.
Zach Kolbert never thought he would become famous for a tattoo.
I had no idea it was going to be anything of this magnitude. It was, it's all a big shock.
He promised a buddy he'd get a tattoo of Donald Trump on his body if Trump won the election. Following through with his word, he did it.
It paid off, I guess I could say.
Since we shared his story, it's gone viral. Zach has already done interviews with radio shows across the country and has more interviews lined up. Zach Kolbert never thought he would become famous for a tattoo.
I had no idea it was going to be anything of this magnitude. It was, it's all a big shock.
He promised a buddy he'd get a tattoo of Donald Trump on his body if Trump won the election. Following through with his word, he did it.
It paid off, I guess I could say.
Since we shared his story, it's gone viral. Zach has already done interviews with radio shows across the country and has more interviews lined up.
To see something like from somebody from Rock Island, and they're saying Rock Island all over the news in Davenport, Iowa, and it's just amazing.
But his biggest wow moment was landing a spot on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Being elected, then this man in Iowa, he made a bet with a friend last week, and things didn't turn out so well for him. Check this out.
It was one thing seeing the media roll out, and state after state after state, but then when I seen myself on Jimmy Fallon, I mean, that was that's pretty crazy.
While Zach has seen some negative comments about his story, he says he's brushing it off. He hopes his tattoo can provide some humor at a time when he says it's needed.
With all the bad that's going on right now in the media and all the riots, and I think this is a good laugh for everybody, a good take their mind off the tension.
His next goal is to get the attention of the man himself, Donald Trump.
I'd really love him to sign it. And then I will go back to the tattoo artist and get his signature tattooed under it.
Jenna Morton, WQAD News 8.
The tattoo isn't finished yet. He will go back next week to have the rest of it done. And Kolbert says this will be his last and his only political tattoo. Turn to weather right now. It did feel more like summer out there today than fall. It is not going to last. You knew the other shoe was going to drop. It's just going to be a few hours from now. But a pretty good night, so let's find out what's going to happen in the hours ahead. And Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist James Harrod joins us right now. James?
Yeah, Jim, I would say it's a good idea to kind of, crack open that window come overnight because temperatures are going to be awfully mild. Warm day was out there. Temperatures easily made their way in the 70s. Record-breaking temperatures that we had across our local area, as well as other parts of the Midwest, too, around Missouri, Illinois. St. Louis got as warm as 83 for the daytime high, but you can see just out to the west, there were those cool colors out there. Yeah, part of an area of low pressure that's going to draw some of that cool air across our skies as we make our way later in the Friday and settle on in as we make our way into the weekend. Currently in the Quad Cities, 58 degrees after a high of 76. Oh boy, it's going to be an awfully warm night out there, but that's going to be a short-lived event as we head into tomorrow. In that transition from the warm winds that we start off with to the cool winds, there's going to be that chance for a shower. We'll time that out for you coming up in just a few minutes. Jim?
All right, thank you, James. The days of speed cameras on highways and interstates in Iowa could be numbered. Republicans likely to bring up banning the cameras altogether during the next legislative session. The Iowa Department of Transportation has already ordered several traffic cameras to be moved or turned off in some cities, including Muscatine and Cedar Rapids. But both cities have appealed, saying the Department of Transportation rules do not have jurisdiction over local law enforcement practices. Starting Monday, Muscatine police will start using a new tool to catch speeders, and police say it's something they want drivers to be aware of. New tonight at 10, News 8's Jessica Dedita joins us in the studio with how police hope to catch drivers when they least expect it. Jessica?
Yeah, Jim, this car right here isn't your average everyday Chevy Sonic. Inside, it has a speed camera and a radar and a laptop to catch drivers' information when they are breaking the law. But there's no one inside.
Basically, it'll be...
The Muscatine Police Department now has a new member on their team, and it comes on 4 wheels. This black Chevy Sonic isn't a cop car, but it's keeping an eye on drivers who might be breaking the law.
You can set that up for a 24 to 48 hour period in that area and hold accountable those people that are speeding.
Once the unmarked car's hours are up in one spot, it moves to the next.
I'm hoping that this will be our saving grace.
Julia Strauss lives on Roscoe Avenue in Muscatine, and she says speeding on her street is a constant problem. Her husband even wrote the city asking for the speed car to patrol their street.
I do welcome it. Let's find the positive. Probably save the force, another person to patrol our area, along with when you think of taxes, wages.
But drivers' pocketbooks could take a hit if the car clocks them going 11 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. Tickets cost $75 a pop.
Hopefully some of the presence of it just being there will reduce the speed in those areas.
All the equipment in the car is owned by a private company.
Their equipment, their camera, then there's a radar in the front grille area.
Since the car was given to the department and the systems are run by that private company, there is no added cost to taxpayers. And drivers can always look on the city's website to find out where the car will be parked.
Everyone, again, will have an idea of where the vehicle is. Transparency being our big concern, not out to write as many tickets as possible.
Sergeant Moto says when the car is parked, it doesn't run on gas. The radar and camera system all operate on a battery separate from the car battery.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Muscatine Police Department says it does hope to eventually move the car into school zones. And if you want to make a recommendation for the car to go somewhere in Muscatine, you can find out how at WQAD.com. Downtown Canton, Illinois closed off to public tonight after a powerful gas explosion. It happened last night in an office building on North 1st Avenue. Police say a contractor damaged a gas line while digging, and utility workers were called to the scene. The explosion killed a 38-year-old utility worker. 12 more people were hurt. The blast blew out windows and doors and caved in ceilings at businesses even blocks away from the explosion site.
I thought our town had been bombed. You know, you hear of these things away from here, not at home. I've never witnessed anything like it.
Fire crews went building to building today, checking for structural damage. 3 buildings are considered a total loss. About 50 more buildings need repairs. The gas explosion in Canton comes as another gas line emergency broke out in LeClaire today. Much earlier today. News 8's Elizabeth Wattis explains how workers keep themselves safe from any danger that could happen at any second.
Gas leak can be very dangerous, so we do not take that lightly.
When that initial call comes in, it's all hands on deck.
The wind direction, the dissipation of the gas, and then of course the experts on the scene are the ones that determine that, and that's the fire department and the power company. Mid-American Energy directs and helps us understand where the actual danger areas are.
The cause of the chaos, a gas line 2 inches wide hit by a construction crew here in LeClaire, Iowa. The first ones on scene, the police.
Our main priority is to assess the situation when we get on scene and then make sure that the public is safe.
Luckily on Thursday, everyone was safe.
Crossing our fingers, hoping nothing else bad happens.
Until this, a car rear-ended by a truck just down the road.
We base our response on what happens, and sometimes the priorities change several times through an incident.
Attention turns away from the gas leak and to the car crash in just a matter of seconds.
It's kind of like triage at the hospital, if you will. You're going to take care of the people that are hurt or people in need or the people that you can help. So you have to hustle down that direction and kind of assess the situation.
The driver of the car is okay, but the efforts at both emergencies wouldn't be possible without teamwork.
We have a fairly small department, so we have to rely on the surrounding agencies when we need the manpower and the resources that we did today.
And if we don't work together, we're not going to accomplish our goal, and that's trying to keep people safe.
A mindset for all first responders, no matter the call. Elizabeth Wattis, WQAD News 8.
Well, gas leaks can also happen in homes, of course, and LeClaire's police chief says if you ever smell a rotten egg odor and you think it could be leaking gas, you should call 911 right away. Want to take you now to Biggsville, Illinois. It is a city that is high and dry, without water tonight. This after the mayor says a water main break drained the town's entire water supply. The city hopes to have water service restored by tomorrow. The town will then be under a boil order. Still ahead on News 8 at 10, encouraged to fight?
It makes you very angry, especially with knowing you have a son. And that's not something you're teaching them at home.
2 elementary kids caught throwing punches, while the person who was supposed to look after them is accused of egging them on.